Welcome back to the third and final installment of Houseplants 101, Growing Healthy Indoor Plants. In the first two parts of this series, we discussed soil composition and purchasing an inexpensive scientific tool that can measure the pH levels as well as your soil moisture and the amount of light that your houseplants are receiving. In this video, I am going to be repotting my Alocasia Polly, also known as the African mask or elephant ear plant. These plants need a bright and humid environment. They do not do well in direct sunlight, so make sure you keep them out of any direct sunlight. In terms of soil composition, you are going to want to use 3 equal parts, 1 part of potting soil, 1 part vermiculite, and 1 part peat moss. These plants want a moist soil, and if there's any confusion about that, I would highly suggest that you use your meter so that you can really ensure that the soil isn't too soggy or too dry, that it's the perfect sort of level of moisture. Like magic, I've used this container to mix all 3 equal parts of peat moss, vermiculite, and potting soil, so I have that ready to go. So I'm gonna set this aside. And when it comes to your new pot, a good general rule is to choose a pot that is approximately no more than 1 to 2 inches wider than the original pot that you are moving the plant from. If you do use too large of a pot, you do run the risk of getting some root rot, which you definitely don't want, especially when it comes to plants or succulents that like the soil to get completely dried out before you re-water them. Now, that's not the case for this particular plant, but that is something that you should be aware of. If you are purchasing some new pots, I do highly recommend that you get a pot that has a drainage hole like this and a tray. Sometimes they come with a little piece that you can put over the hole so that soil doesn't drain through the pot and end up on the tray. Now, the reason for this is that without a drainage hole, you run the risk of water sitting at the bottom of the pot and sort of accumulating there over time, and that again will increase your chances of root rot. With a plant like the Alocasia, it is recommended that this plant be repotted annually, and the reasons for that are so that you can give it some fresh new soil and you can take care of any root development. You may have some tubers in your pot, and those are something that you can use to grow new plants, and we're going to take a look and see if I have any of those as I repot my Alocasia. Now, I have filled this up, as you can see, about halfway, so let's get started. So like the Maranta, this plant as well also prefers a slightly acidic soil in the range of 5.5 to 6 as well. So you can see this is slightly root bound, so we're just going to very carefully sort of loosen this all up and see what's going on. So I don't see any tubers just yet. All right, so there's 1 tuber here. Set that aside. Looks like there may be a few more tubers. So just, again, be sort of gentle with it. This might take a minute. I hope I'm not missing any tubers, so I might have to take a look through the soil that's sort of crumbling away here. And you do want to loosen, oh yeah, not sure if you can see that guy right there, so let's see if we can loosen him out. So you do kind of want to loosen this all up carefully. So it looks like there's definitely a nice healthy root system on this plant. And again, I'm just trying to loosen all of the sort of soil that's in between all of the roots just to see if there are any tubers in there. Oh yeah, there's definitely some more. Again, just be super patient and careful with it. All right, so I still have some more to remove carefully. All right, so once you've done the best you can do, a decent job getting rid of all of this old potting soil, you know, just take a close, careful look. I feel like I could still get rid of a little bit more soil here. So I'm gonna continue to just try to loosen this up a little bit more. All right, so I feel like that's, you know, the best I can do in terms of loosening up the soil. I could probably go for, you know, a couple more minutes, but this should suffice. So we're gonna want to get rid of this old potting soil and place this guy in our new pot. So get all of the roots sort of nice, secured. And then we're going to want to add the rest of our potting mix here. So I'm just going to use my hands. So once you've added all of the remaining new potting soil, you are going to want to just sort of firmly press the soil down. A bit. There we go. Like so. And I will probably give this some fresh water. Now I am going to use the option where I add some of the ingredient to the water every other week to get that pH of the soil down to that 5.5 to 6 range. So that's how I'm going to choose to treat this. Let me just get this tidied up and I'll be right back to talk about what you can do with the tubers. So I went ahead and just tidied up the whole space, mixed some more fresh potting soil and put some in the original container that the plant came in, because I did get amazing 7 tubers from the original plant. However, 2 do look like a little bit dark in places, so I'm not going to repot those 2, and that leaves me with 5 that I'm going to repot in new potting mix that I've again used in the original container. So you're just going to want to make a little spot for them and then drop them in, and then sort of cover them up with a little bit of soil. So that's one. There's a second larger one. All right, and the third larger one. Now these 2 last ones of the 5 that I have are quite small, so I'm not sure how successful they are going to be, but hey, let's give it a try anyway. Oh, and there we go. So we've repotted the parent Alocasia Polly, and I just finished planting, or potting I should say, the 5 tubers that I have taken from the parent plant, and I will definitely follow up with you guys on how these are growing. So again, I hope you enjoyed this mini series, Houseplants 101. Hopefully this was really useful for you. And thanks again for checking out this video. Until the next one.